Hello everybody and welcome to a new style of video on this channel where I'm going to be doing a live coding challenge. I'm planning on doing a few more of these in the future, so if you guys have some ideas for projects I can work on, then leave them in the comments. However, for this video, I'm going to be trying to create Minesweeper in Python using Pygame as quickly as I can. Now I'm going to give myself a maximum time limit of 1 hour. I think that's a good amount of time. I should be able to come up with a functional game here. And the point of this video is to kind of give you a taste of what programming actually looks like. I do have some live coding on this channel, but a lot of times you guys watch my tutorials and I already have the code pre-written in those tutorials, right? So everything's kind of perfect. There's not too many mistakes. However, when I come up with that code, it takes me a really long time. I'm constantly messing up, and that's the reality of programming. So I'm hoping this video will be entertaining as well as pretty relatable for you guys because I will be messing up quite a bit, and I'm sure there will be tons of errors and bugs and me banging my head against the desk. Anyways, with that said, that is what we're going to do in this video. I do want to shout out Web Dev Simplified for the kind of inspiration for this video idea. I was looking at his channel the other day and saw he was doing some coding challenges related to kind of front-end development, and I figured, hey, why don't I try that with Python? So Kyle, thank you very much for the idea. Hope you don't mind that I'm stealing it. With that said, let's head over to VS Code here. I'll give you a quick demo of what Minesweeper is in case you're unfamiliar. Then we'll start the timer and I'll start trying to build this game out. All right, so I'm on the computer now and I'm just going to give you a quick demo of Minesweeper in case you haven't seen before. Just pulled one up on Google here. And the goal here is to sweep all of the mines and essentially clear all of the squares without hitting a bomb. So what I can do here is press down. It's going to clear a large portion of the screen. And all of the numbers you see are telling me how many bombs are adjacent to this square. So adjacent being either diagonal or to the left, up, right, or down. So when you see something like 1, that means there's 1 bomb in the neighborhood of the square. 3 bombs, so on and so forth. And if you want to place a flag, that means you're kind of denoting that this square, you think it's a bomb. So I could do something like that. And now if I continue to kind of clear out the rest of the screen, this flag will kind of be protected, right? I won't accidentally hit this bomb because I have a flag here. Hopefully that makes a bit of sense, but the point is to go through, clear the entire screen, don't hit any bombs. If you hit a bomb, then you lose and you have to restart. Pretty famous game. I'm sure most of you are familiar with it. So let's try to build that out. All right, last thing I will mention here, I do have a programming course. If you guys are interested in getting better at programming, specifically Python and Go, check it out. It's called Programming Expert. I'll leave it in the description. I spent countless hours working on it. So if you do want to get better at programming, seriously, it's a great resource. Highly recommend. Link in the description. You can also use discount code TIM. All right, so let's start the timer right now. At this point, I'm not going to cut the video. So if I make any mistakes, then you guys will see them live here. So import Pygame, let's say width. If we could spell that correctly, comma height, and let's go with a width of 700 and a height of 800. We'll make the height slightly larger so we can put a menu there. We want a surface or a window, so I'm going to say, actually, let's do it in lower cases. Win is equal to pygame.display.set_mode, and let's set our width and our height. Let's go with a caption, so pygame.display.set_caption, and this will be Minesweeper like that. Okay, now let's just code out the basic kind of starting script here. So if name equals main, we'll call a function called main. We can define main. I guess we could take a window in here as a variable, so we'll take in win, although I'm going to just treat these as global variables. I think I'm not going to worry too much about having the best practice here because we're trying to do this quickly. Okay, so inside of here, we'll say run is equal to true. We'll say while run, say for event in pygame.event.get. If event.type is equal to pygame.quit, then we want to say run is equal to false. Break, and then outside of here we can say pygame.quit like that. Okay, now we should also say pygame.init up here. Okay, we have our width, our height, our window. Now we want to draw some stuff out, so I'm going to say define draw. We'll take in a window, and again, I don't necessarily need to take that, but let's do that for now. Let's have our background color. Let's make the background for now just equal to white, I guess. So we'll go with white. We'll say win.fill bg color, and then pygame.display update like that. And then here we need to draw. So let's say draw, and let's pass our window like that. And I just called it win. Okay. So now if I run this, we should get a screen showing up. Let's see. And there we go. Okay. And then if I hit X, we quit. Perfect. That's what I wanted for now. Now let's do the grid. So let's say define create underscore grid. Let's just go rows, calls like that. Okay. Pass. For the grid, we want to have the underlying grid and the grid on top of it. I guess let's call this create mine field, because then creating the other grid will be really easy. So we need to know the number of rows and calls. So I'll say rows, comma calls. I don't know how many you usually have in Minesweeper, but we can start with like 30 by 30 or something like that. And then the number of mines, I guess we'll go with something like 15 for now. So we want rows, calls, and mines. And then inside of here, we need to randomly put a bunch of mines inside of a 2D array. And then we need to go through the 2D array and figure out what number we're going to have for every single square, or if the number is going to be 0 and we're going to have an empty tile. Okay, so let's do that. So let's create a 2D array here. We can say our field is equal to, and this will be a list comprehension, and we'll say 0 underscore, or 0 for underscore in range, and then this will be calls for underscore in range rows. Okay, so that'll give us a 2D array that's the size of the field. Then we want to randomly pick positions for our mines. So I'll say mine positions is equal to, we'll make this a set. We'll randomly select number of mines positions, make sure that they're unique, and then we will set them in here and then go through the field. So let's do that. We're going to say for underscore in range, and this is going to be mines. We're going to say random dot rand range, and we need to select a random row and column. So row is equal to this, and this will be 0, and then the number of rows, and then we'll say call is equal to random rand range. Okay, position will then be row call as a tuple, and we'll say if pause in mine positions. Let's actually change this to a while loop here. So we're going to say while mines created is less than mines. Okay, and then we'll have mines created is equal to 0. So if the position is in the mines position, then we need to do this again because we already selected that position. Otherwise, we'll add it. So we'll say mines underscore positions dot add pause. And I realize we don't need this. We can just use the len of the set. So let's say len of mines and then positions. And I realize, do we want to call this mine positions? That probably reads a bit better. So let's go with that, mine positions. All right, I don't know how good my pace is here because how long has it been? 5 minutes? Okay, that's not bad so far. So mine positions dot add pause. Okay, once we add that position, we can go ahead and just set it in the field. So now that we've done that, let's say field at, and then I guess we already have row call. So we can say field at row call is equal to, and then for a mine, I guess we'll go with the string X for now. Although maybe we'll do something like -1, and we'll just use numbers. So -1 will be a mine, 0 will be nothing, and then all the positive integers will represent the correct value. Okay, now that we have all of that, this may not be the most efficient way to do this, but I'm just going to loop through, check the neighbors of every single position, and essentially set those. Although now that I'm here, I'm thinking that when I add a mine, I can probably increment all the neighbors in the field and do it all in this one while loop. So let's do that, but I need a function here called get underscore neighbors. Is that how you spell neighbors, or is it ORS? There you go. Okay, so let's take in a row, a call, rows, and calls, and let's generate all of the 8 valid neighbors for a specific square. So we're going to say if row is greater than 0. Yeah, if row is greater than 0, let's make a list here. Neighbors is equal to a list. If row is greater than 0, then neighbors dot append, and this will be row -1 call. Okay, we'll say if row is less than the len of rows minus 1. I think that should be fine. Then we will add the row that is below, so row plus 1 call. Okay, so this is going to be up, just so I don't confuse myself here. This is down. Let's do left and right, and then let's do diagonals. So let's say if the call is greater than 0, then this is going to be to the left. Then neighbors dot append, and this will be row call minus 1. Okay, autocomplete, give it to me here. Perfect. Then neighbors dot append, row call plus 1. Okay, continuing, let's do the diagonals. So if the row is greater than 0 and the call is greater than 0, I believe this is going to be the top left neighbor. And then we're going to say neighbors dot append, and this will be row minus 1, call minus 1. Okay, if the row is less than the len of rows minus 1, and yeah, I guess we can just do top right neighbor. I think that's the one here. Neighbors dot append, and then this will be row plus 1, call plus 1. Okay, and then we'll say if the row is less than that, len of rows minus 1, and the call is greater than 0, then neighbors dot append, row, and this will be plus 1, call minus 1. Okay, and then if the row is greater than 0 and call is less than the len of calls minus 1, then we'll add our final neighbor. Row minus 1, call plus 1. Okay, let's look at this. We have row minus 1, call minus 1, row plus 1, call plus 1, row plus 1, call minus 1, row minus 1, call plus 1. Okay, nice. Return the neighbors, and that works for me. Okay, so now that we have all of the valid neighbors, whenever we do this here, we add a bomb for every single one of the neighbors. Let's increment their value in the field if it's not a bomb to b plus 1. And that actually tells me here that I'm not going to be able to do it this way, because if I do have two bombs that are beside each other, I think that's valid to happen in Minesweeper. I'm not super familiar, but if there's two beside each other, that's not going to work. So we're going to have to do it this way. We're going to say for mine in mine positions, we're going to say neighbors is equal to get neighbors, and then we'll pass an asterisk mine to decompose that, as well as our rows and calls. And we'll say for neighbor in neighbors, and we can say for RC because we want to get the row and the column, and yeah, I think that'll be fine. Then we will say field at RC plus equals 1. Okay, then we will return the field, and I think that should be good for the field. I'm going to zoom out a bit, even though I know it's going to be harder for you guys to read. Sorry about that. Okay, so now that we have that, let's just test the get create minefield function. So let's start here and have field is equal to create minefield. This is going to be rows, calls, and mines. I'm just putting these in all capitals at the top, so it's really easy for me to quickly change them, by the way, rather than just defining them here and maybe not knowing what they are. And let's run this, but I want to print out the field just to have a look at this before I start trying to draw it. Okay. So int has no length. Oops, I keep doing that. It was len of rows, just needs to be calls. Okay. Kind of a silly error there, but fix that quickly. Okay, think that's good. Let's rerun, and let's have a look here. Okay, 1, 1, 1, 1, -1. I think I might need to either add more mines or make this a bit smaller. Also, that's kind of hard to read, so let's just import something here. Import from pprint import pretty printer. Okay, printer is equal to pretty printer, and let's go here. Printer.pprint. Okay, I'll run that one more time. That didn't actually make it any easier. Okay, I think I might not have enough mines because it doesn't look like it's correct. Although I can try drawing it, which is what we're gonna have to do next anyways. But for now, let's add a few more mines. because, oh, 30 by 30 is kind of massive, right? Like, let's go maybe 15 by 15, and then we have, I guess, 15 times more squares than mine. So let's run this now, and let's see if we're getting any numbers that are 2. Okay, nice. We have some 2s. I just wanted to make sure we're getting some larger numbers here before we continued. Okay, so now we want to draw that out. So let's go to draw here, and let's take in the field, and let's take in, I guess, the cover field, because now that we have the field, I also want to have a 2-dimensional right here that's the exact same, but that's representing which ones I've clicked on. So we'll just say cover field is equal to that. And 0, I guess, will represent we haven't clicked on or something. Okay, but we have field and cover field. For now, let's figure out how we just draw the field. Then we can draw on top, I guess. So let's do the following. Okay, so we need to figure out how many squares we're going to have on our screen and how large those are going to be. That's going to be based on the rows and the calls. Okay, so let's say size is equal to, and this is going to be the width, integer divided by, and then we'll go with the number of rows, and that'll be how large each square is. Then we want to draw each square, and we want to draw a number in the middle. We're going to need a font to do that, so let's just go with num font. And this will be equal to pygame.font.sys font, not Arial. You guys already know we're going with Comic Sans here. And that can be 20. Let's say num colors is equal to, and then let's just set what color we want each one to be. So 1 can be black, 2 can be green, 3 can be red, 4, we can have up to 8, so I kind of have to pick a lot of different colors here. Okay, let's go 6 is equal to purple, 7 is equal to, what else can I even do? Black, green, red, orange, yellow. Do we have a blue? Okay, let's go with blue. And I guess I could go with like a pink or something. So 8, pink. These are just the colors that I'm going to draw the text in, by the way. Okay, so now we have num colors, num font, because I'm going to use those in 1 second. So let's say for I, comma, row in enumerate field. Let's say for j, comma, value in enumerate, and this is going to be row. Then we want to get the value, and we're going to draw that. So we're going to say, we need to render some text. So text is going to be equal to, and this will be, what did I call it? The num underscore font dot render. We're going to render the string version of the value. We're going to do this anti-aliasing 1, and then the color will be my num underscore colors at the index of the value. Okay, then we're going to say win.blit, and we're going to draw this text value at some position calculated by ij, which I'll do in 1 second. Now, the top left is where I'm going to start here, so this should be relatively easy to do, but let's say here that the y position is going to be equal to size multiplied by I, and the x position is going to be equal to size multiplied by j. Okay, and then we should be able to just split this at xy. I'll have to do some more calculations, though, based on the size of the square. I also want to draw a rectangle. So let's draw the rectangle first, actually. And we'll go pygame.draw.rect. We'll draw this on the window. We need the xy and then the rect. So we'll say xy. Actually, sorry, we need the color. The color of this, let's make a variable rect color is equal to, for now, I suppose we can go with white. Okay. And let's go with a gray. I always forget if it's GRAY or EY, but I think actually let's just go with RGB, 128, 128, 128. Okay. So this is now going to be, what did I call that variable? Rect color. Okay, rect color XY, and then this is going to be size because we're drawing a square. And then I also want to have an outline for this, so I'm going to draw another rectangle, except the rect color here is just going to be black. And then we're going to make the outline thickness of 2. So we'll draw, actually, I guess we'll draw that on top of this. That way we're not getting a square that's too large. Okay, so now that should be good. We just need to fix this. So now we're going in the center of where we currently are. So we're going to say x plus, and then this is going to be text.get underscore width over 2. And actually, this is going to be x plus size over 2 minus text.get underscore width over 2. Just trying to center vertically and horizontally. We're going to do the same thing with y. Y plus size over 2 minus text.get underscore height and over 2. In case you're unfamiliar, that's how you center the text. At least that's how I'm going to do it. And I think we should now be drawing that. So when we go draw, let's pass the field. Let's also pass the cover field. And let's see what this looks like right now. Rows is not defined. Okay, that's down here. Yes, we need to have these in all capitals. So rows and calls. Okay, rerun. Key error 0. Forgot about that. 0 is going to be no color, and we don't actually want to draw text for 0. So I should have figured that out, but let's say if value does not equal 0. Great. Okay, let's try this now. Key error -1. That's a bomb. So if value is greater than 0, there you go. Because again, I don't want to draw the bombs. Okay. Oh, I'm shocked that I actually got that first try. Okay, so we're a little bit off here. I think that's a rounding error, so I'll try to fix that. But that looks good right now. Now we need to cover the tiles, change the colors and stuff like that. I think I'm about 20 minutes in. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of the hard stuff done, but there's still a lot to do, 1/3 of the way. I think I have a decent chance here to finish this, but we'll see. Okay, so window lit text x plus 2. What was the issue? Oh, my size was a little bit off. Can we do 1 division sign and see if that gives it to us a little bit better? There we go. I guess we can draw with decimals. That's fine. Okay, there is a little bit of a white gap here the way I'm drawing this, but for now I think that's fine. Now we want to do something where we are going to not show those numbers if they're covered. I also don't want those to be so gray. Let's make this closer to a white, so like 200, 200, 200, and then we'll have clicked rect color, and that can be a darker gray of like 140, 140, 140. Let's try that quickly. Nice. Okay, a little bit of a lighter gray. I think that's nice. So now that we have that, we are only going to actually display the number, and we're going to have this rect color as opposed to the covered rect color if we're not covered, right? So what we need to do here is check if the current thing that we're looping on is covered and we haven't clicked on it yet. So we can do that, and we can say is covered is equal to, and then this will be cover field, and then we'll have row column, or yeah, row, no, ij. And if that's equal to 1, or if that's equal to 0, then it will be covered. So we're going to say if is covered, then we will simply draw. Actually, I guess we can leave the outline. Then we'll draw this, but we'll do this in, actually, yeah, that'll be rect colored, and then this will be the clicked rect color. Okay. Just trying to think here how I want to do this. Let's put in else. Let's put this. We want to do this no matter what. I actually think it's going to be cleaner to do this. Okay. That looks good to me. Now, when we run this, it shouldn't show us any numbers. Okay, good. Now I want to make it so I can click and have numbers. Okay, we're getting somewhere here, but this is still far from being finished. So let's now implement a click. So we're going to say if event.type equals pygame dot, not key down, but mouse button down. It's pass for now. Let's write a function that can determine which square we clicked on. So let's say define, and then this is going to be get grid pause. So from our mouse position, we need to know where we are in the grid so that we know what to uncover. So we're going to take in, I guess, mouse pause. Okay, we'll say mx my is equal to mouse position and just decompose that. Now that we have that, we also need to know, actually we have these as global, so I'll just treat them as global variables. Again, not best practice here. I'm trying to go fast. Don't roast me too badly here. Let's figure this out. So row is going to be equal to, and then this will be mx, and I think we can just integer divide this by the size, but I need to recalculate size. I really should have that as a global probably, so let's actually do that. And yeah, can put that here. Size, and then let's look for size. Okay, and I guess let's do this and replace that with size. Okay, replace that everywhere. We don't need this anymore. Now we have size. We don't need to recalculate because we already have it. So we can divide by size. Call is equal to my, and this needs to be the other way around. Over size, and then return row call. Yeah, the issue is we could click outside of the grid as well. So I guess we'll just do a check down here and make sure we are in the grid before we continue there. But I think that should actually give it to us. So let's say grid underscore pause is equal to get grid pause, and then we want the mouse position. So this will be pygame.mouse.get underscore pause, and we can go row call. We should always be in the correct column, but we might not be in the correct row. So we'll say if row is greater than or equal to rows, and I guess while we're at it, or call is greater than or equal to calls, then we will simply continue because we didn't click in the square. Otherwise, we did click in the square, so let's uncover it. So to do that, we can just say cover field row call is equal to 1, and that can tell us that we uncovered it, and then we can kind of trigger an event and uncover the rest of the stuff that we need to see. So let's try this now, and let's click, and list indices must be integers or slices, not float. Okay, integer divided, that should have given me, let's just round these, and that should fix it. Okay, let's try. And list indices, what? Why is it giving me cover field row call equals 1, row call. Okay, let's do int. The integer division, I should be giving me an integer, but I think it's because my mouse position is float that I'm getting that. So this should hopefully work now. Let's see. And when I click, okay, nice. Unfortunately, okay, there we go. And then I find a number. Now, of course, this is not how the clicking is supposed to work in Minesweeper. You're supposed to uncover all the blank tiles until you hit the numbers. So we have to implement that. But for now, this is looking pretty good. Okay, so once I click cover field equals 1, then I need to say uncover from position. Let's pass row column, and let's say, oops. So now I actually need to write a graphing algorithm that's going to essentially find where I clicked, if it's my first click at least, because that's how this one works, I think. And if it's a blank tile, then it's going to essentially find all of the other blank tiles until it gets to completely surrounded by numbers, and that's what it will uncover. So I need to write that, which will be a breadth first search. Yeah, breadth first search, I think, not depth first search. Anyways, uncover from position, row call, cover field. We also need not just the cover field, but we need the mine field as well. Okay, and did I call it mine field? No, I just called it field. Okay, so let's take in exactly that here. I was writing a function, was I not? Define uncover from position. And let's implement a depth first search here. So we can use a queue. So let's import that here. We also no longer need this. Am I still printing out the thing? I don't think I am. So that looks good. No, I am. So let's get rid of that. Okay, we need a queue though. So let's say from collections, import queue. Could also use a list, but this should be better. For our queue, let's say queue is equal to queue, and actually I believe that it's queue.queue. We'll see if that works though. Okay, q.q, q.add, or is it q.put? I think it's q.put. We're going to put row call. We're going to say while not q.empty. Yep, that's what we want. Then we will say, I think it's q.pop. We'll say current is equal to q.pop. Okay. And what we're doing here is we're from every element in our queue, just expanding, looking at the neighbors. If there's an empty tile, we're going to uncover it. If there's a number, we're going to uncover it. As soon as we get to a number, we're no longer going to add the neighbors. That's what we're going to do here. So we're going to say neighbors, we can spell that, is equal to get neighbors. And this is going to be asterisk current, which will be a position. We'll say for neighbor in neighbors. And we need to get the value in the uncovered field. So we'll say field at, and instead of neighbor, we can say RC. So we'll say field RC, value is equal to field RC. We'll say if value is equal to 0, actually, so if it's an empty tile, then what we will do is uncover it. Otherwise, actually, one second. Let's think about this for a second. Q.put, and I just called this Q, so let's put that there. We'll say Q.put RC. Okay, if the value is 0, because we're going to continue looking. If the value is a number, however, we don't want to do that, but we do want to uncover. So we'll say the cover field at RC is equal to, and then this will be 1. And then we'll have to do a check somewhere else to make sure we didn't click on a bomb, but I think that's actually fine for now. Let me try that. Unable to import Q, that's because I need to do this. Okay, let's try that. Can I import Q? What is this called? Let's do a quick search here. Q Python. Oh, is it literally? Is that actually what it is? Okay, I thought it was from collections. No way, that's right. Yeah, lowercase, that's what I thought. Okay. From Q, import Q, and then I guess, yeah, let's try this now. Okay, press, Q is not defined. Okay, let's go back here because I realized I need to do this. All right, how are we looking on time? It looks like I'm about half an hour in. Q object has not you pop, Q.get. Yeah, okay. Let's try this now. Missing 2 rows and calls. Okay, get neighbors. Rows calls. Let's try this. Okay, and now nothing's happening when I click. Oh, I wrote an infinite loop accidentally. How did I mess that up? Q.put RC. Oh, it's because I'm revisiting elements. Visited is equal to set. Okay, and we need to add RC to set and skip if in set. So we will say, we'll do this at the end, I guess. Set.add RC. We'll say if RC in visited, continue. Okay, that should hopefully fix that. Now when I click add for set object, it's not applied to tuple object. Can I not add a tuple to the set? Is that not allowed? Yeah, I can do that, right? Set visited.add. Okay, I gotta stop making these mistakes if we want to finish this. Wow, okay. Is that what should have happened? Actually, yeah, I think that's correct. Any of you that play Minesweeper, I guess, I mean, I'm not live right now, but you could tell me in the comments if this looks right. I think this is actually correct. Now, if I click somewhere else, yeah, okay, it fills in. For the bombs, I want to draw something. Okay, that looks good, though, for uncovering currently. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. Obviously, more stuff that needs to be added there, but for now, that looks good. Let's add some more bombs, because I have a feeling that these are not, and really, I should call these bombs. So let's rename that. Bombs. No, not bombs. Okay, there we go. Let's try this. And There we go. That's better. I feel like that's more like what we should get here, right? When you click on the first try. Okay. And then we need to have something for left clicking now, so you can add a flag. So let's do that. So we're going to say flag underscore positions is equal to, and I guess that can just be a set. That's fine. Yeah, set looks fine to me. So now when we're checking, why am I doing that in here? Sorry, it's to go down here in main. Okay, flag positions. For the flag positions, we need to differentiate between if you're clicking the left mouse button or the right mouse button. There is a few ways to do this, but I'll say mouse pressed is equal to pygame.mouse.get underscore pressed. And we'll say if mouse pressed 0, that means left click, then do all of that. Elif mouse underscore pressed 2, then we want to add a flag. So same thing though, we want to get the row call that we press, so we can, I guess, actually take this and put this up here, because if we didn't click a valid square, it's going to be the same process. Okay, let's move that back. How are we doing on time? Okay, looks like I have about 25 minutes left, 20-ish minutes. Should be a fair amount of time, but we probably won't get any nice animations or anything done. Okay, now if you press the right mouse button, we want to add a flag. So we will say flag underscore positions.add row column. Okay, we want to then set something in our cover field for a flag. I really should have been more specific with what I'm putting in the field. So I have -1, which is a bomb, 0, which is nothing, regular numbers. And I guess we'll go with -2 as a flag, just because I don't have anything else to put there. So we'll say cover field, and then this will not be row call. In fact, I don't actually need to do that. We can leave that for now. We'll say cover field row call is equal to -2, indicating a flag. And then we need to draw something on there to make it a flag. So let's go back to our draw. And okay, is covered. Okay, draw a rectangle. Value. We need another elif in here, checking if it's a flag, essentially. So if it's covered, we actually need something before this to check if it's a flag. Not the cleanest ways to do this, but should be fine. So if value is equal to -2, we'll continue after we simply draw a rectangle that's a different color. So rather than rect color, let's go with flag color. And I guess we can just color the whole rectangle like red or something like that, indicating that's a flag. So let's just say flag underscore rect underscore color is equal to, we can go with red. And where are we here? Flag underscore rect color. Okay. You do also have a limited number of flags. So let's say flags is equal to bombs. And when you set a flag, that needs to decrease. So flags minus equals 1. Although if you left click on a position that's already a flag, then we need to change that and have it not be a flag. So we'll implement all of that. So we'll say if cover field row call is equal to -2, then we'll actually do something different. We'll make it equal to, oh God, this is a bit more difficult now, because you could make something a flag that's a number. So we need to now essentially, oh, well, this is in the cover field though, so that's fine. It's just the cover field. So we can just make it 0 and just make it still be covered. Okay. So if cover field like that, that's fine. We need to remove you now. So flag positions dot remove row call. And now that I'm thinking of it, I probably don't actually need this set here because we're just going to represent in the cover field. So let's remove that. This will be flags plus equals 1 if you remove a flag. We'll say otherwise, we will do this. Okay, let's try this out now and see if we can add a flag. Okay, so it looks like my right click actually isn't working. If mouse pressed 0, if mouse pressed 2, I'm right clicking, but it doesn't seem like it's doing this. Cover field row call equals -2. Where are we here? Where's my draw? If value equals -2. It's because we don't want to check value. We want to check cover field is equal to 0. So actually, let's just do this. Is covered is flag is equal to cover field ij equal to -2. So now rather than if value, we're going to say if is flag. And then we'll have to do something with the bombs. Yeah, I'm weary about the time here. Okay, so there we go. So those are my flags. When I press, we need to do something with the flags. I can't not actually implement them, obviously. So let's do something with the flags so that when we hit a flag in the cover field, we don't add that as a neighbor, something along the lines of that. Again, I'm not super familiar with Minesweeper. Let's actually go back to Minesweeper here. And let me just add a flag like here, 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 here. And let's do like this. And if I like click in there, oh, well, of course, I clicked on a bomb. That was great timing. Okay, can we change back here? Easy. Let's go flag, 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 flag. Maybe it's because it was my first turn. Let's try this though. Okay, so it doesn't expand beyond the flags, but if I click like here, it just does a single square at a time, eh? Okay, so maybe on my first click, I'll expand everywhere. It's if you're clicking on a blank square. I'm not sure I'm super familiar with how the clicking works, but we'll try to continue. Okay. So continuing here, we have our flags. Those need to be accounted for as we expand from a square. So create minefield. Where even do I have this function? Uncover from position. Yeah. Let's do something here. I'm just confused here with how the flags work in terms of uncovering. Again, I'm not a huge Minesweeper player, and I keep calling it Minefield too, I think. I'm pretty sure you only do this if you hit a blank square, or if it's your first click. So we can, I guess, say clicks equals 0. We'll say if clicks is equal to 0, then we'll do this. Or if, and then this will be field at row call is equal to 0. Yeah, so I think if you hit a blank tile, we expand all the way. Yeah, that makes sense to me. If you just hit an individual number, you just uncover that one number. Now let's go to uncover from position, and we need to now handle our flags and checking if something is a flag in the cover field. So if value is equal to 0 and the cover field at RC is not a flag, does not equal. How did I put these flags? Did I put them in the cover field or did I put them in the field? Now I'm really confusing myself here. Okay, cover field, -2. All right, that's fine. So actually in the cover field, yeah, I guess we can still keep it as -2, but I'm using the cover field, not the regular field for my flags. Okay, so let's go, where were we here? Cover field RC, so we can't set that yet. It's gonna have to go here. Okay, so uncover. If the field does not equal -2, then put this. Okay, and then, so if the value is 0, put it in the queue, but no matter what, on this, we're uncovering it, we're adding it to visited, that makes sense. If this is a flag, though, we don't want to uncover it if it's a flag. If value equals 0, and cover field does not equal -2, and then I guess I have to do something like this. Okay, let's try this. I'm, again, a little confused on what's going on here. So let's put a few flags like this. Okay, I think that worked. So it just uncovered all the neighbors of the square I clicked on because it was my first click. All right, let's click again. And see, that shouldn't have happened because this was a value. So since it was a value, I shouldn't have done that. So let's go back here. And if cover fields, So wait, where does this press? It's right here. And field row call equals 0. I'm not incrementing clicks. Okay. Plus equals 1. Okay, let's try this now. So when I click first time, okay, that's good. Click again, we're only getting the individual number. And then let's have something so we draw the bombs so we can see where those are. So let's go to draw. And we need something for bombs. We have is covered, okay. Otherwise, draw this. But we need to check if we are bomb. So we'll say is underscore bomb is equal to value equal to -1. If is flag, okay. And then we'll say if is underscore bomb. In flag, I'm thinking we should probably change that to be green, and then the bomb will be red. So green and then bomb is equal to red. And I guess we can draw a red circle inside of a rectangle for the bomb. So we'll say if is bomb, then we will draw. Yeah, we want to draw this clicked cover rectangle. If is covered, okay, we'll say otherwise here. We'll do this, we'll draw all of this, but then on top, if it's a bomb and it's uncovered, then we'll draw that. So we'll say if bomb, then pygame dot draw dot rectangle. We want to draw this on window. We want this to be the bomb underscore color. Did I call it that? Bomb underscore color, okay. All right, bomb color, where are we going here? I've completely lost myself. Okay, there we go, pygame direct. And then we need to pass, I'm drawing a circle. Need to pass the X, Y, and the radius. So for the X, this is gonna be, I think I have X, Y here, yeah. So X, Y, but this is gonna be X plus size over 2 because we need the middle, and Y plus size over 2, but this needs to be all capitals. Okay, so let's replace that. For the radius, this will be the size minus 2, just so it doesn't fill. Actually, we'll go size minus, I don't know, like 3 or 4, just so it doesn't fill the entire thing. And that's fine for now. Okay, let's try this. And let's click. Okay, so it uncovers a bunch of stuff here. Click again. Okay, so since it was empty space, it uncovered all the empty space. If I add a flag, okay, and I can click. So 2, click here. I want to see a bomb. Oh, there you go. Okay, that's a massive bomb. The radius needs to be way less than I thought. Okay, so let's go for the size of the radius. I guess this needs to be size over 2 minus some constant factor, because yeah, the size is the entire size of the square, so that makes sense. Let's rerun. Okay, let's click. Click, click, click. Okay, give me a bomb, man. Come on, where's a bomb? I guess there's got to be one close. Okay, and then there we go. We find a bomb. So when we click on a bomb, yes, we got to end the game. We can just reset, I guess, but we'll continue. I think, I mean, from what I can tell here, this looks good. That's interesting. Okay, so I can remove that by clicking on it like that, and I can uncover by clicking once. And actually, I shouldn't let myself click on a flag. That's kind of the reason why they're there. So let's implement that too. We're mouse pressing here to uncover. So if the clicks equal 0, or it's that, but we're going to say if mouse pressed. Actually, we'll go here. And this will be the cover field at our row call does not equal -2 for flag. So don't let me click on a flag, essentially. I can unset the flag in that way. Clicks plus 1, okay, just so we know how many clicks we're at. Looking better. Let's implement something for clicking on a bomb. So uncover from field, okay. Now let's handle clicking on the bomb down here, I guess. So we can continue to do all of this. Actually, we shouldn't uncover from position if we clicked on a bomb. I guess we'll check this at the top then. So we will cover field. But then we'll say if field row call is equal to -1, which is a bomb, then bomb clicked exclamation point. We need to reset, and we want to probably just draw something on the screen. Let's implement a function here. Say define draw lost. Okay, let's just take in some text, and let's take in our window too. And let's just draw some text on the screen and just display it saying you lost, and then I guess we'll reset everything. So for drawing lost, we will say text is equal to, this will be the lost font, which I will implement up here. So let's go lost underscore font is equal to pygame.system.font, Comic Sans. You guys already know, best font ever. Okay, lost font, go with 100. Let's spread these out a bit. Okay, we have our lost font, which is here. Dot render text 1 and color. I'll just hard code this in as black for now, and then we're going to say win dot blit, and want to blit the text, and the position is going to be the width over 2 minus the text.getWidth over 2, and there we go. We can do that to put it in the center of the screen. Then we'll say pygame.display.update, and time. Actually, we'll delay down here. So let's go draw lost, win, and then you lost. Try again. Dot, dot, dot. I know you're supposed to uncover all the bombs. I'm kind of on a time crunch here, though, so I want to get something functioning, and then we can maybe work on this in another video. But let's draw lost, and then let's go pygame.time.delay. Let's delay 5 seconds. And then we need to reset. So to reset, we really can just do that. I don't like writing this all in here. This is getting to be very messy code, but we can do that just fine. And that should reset all the variables we need. Usually I put this in some type of object or some type of class, but for now that's fine. Okay, so that handles if we lost. To handle if we won, we essentially check if every single thing is uncovered other than the bombs. That's more complicated, but let's try this for now and see if we can get losing to work. Okay, so 3, so there should be a bomb somewhere around here. Okay, there must be one there. Okay, you lost, try again. We want to refresh and show the bomb though first before we lose. Yeah, see, that's no good. Okay, so we draw lost and we delay. However, before we draw that, let's draw, and we can pass the win, the field, and the cover. And then it's delaying, so when I click, it's... We could just do something like this. Lost is equal to true. I think this is going to be better here. I'm going to say lost is equal to false. And then down here, we'll say if lost, we can put all that in here. That's a little cleaner for us. I just want to make sure that this delay is kind of throwing me off here. Maybe we just won't let you do anything when it's lost, and then after 5 seconds, it will reset. I don't know, there's some options here, but let's try this for now. Okay, so click. There must be a bomb here, right? No, okay. One here, no, one here. So I might be tripping, but it says 3, so that would mean that there would be a bomb here, here, and here. But when I click on it, I'm not getting one. So something must be messed up here, unless I've incremented these incorrectly, but that should be a bomb, right? Cover is not defined. Where do I even have that? Cover underscore field. I want to draw all of the bombs. Let's just remove something here. So if is flag, if is covered, we do this. Where's my bomb? So if it's not covered, if is bomb. All right, guys, I'm getting a bit lost here because I feel like I have a bug here. So this is 5, right? It's not possible for this to be 5. So I think for the way I'm incrementing this must be incorrect in some way. Yeah, surely it's got to be incorrect based on the bomb positions, because there's got to be a bomb somewhere here. And okay, there's a bomb there, but like if I'm looking at that, the numbers here are just, they look to be incorrect to me. So I think I've messed something up. You lost, try again. We need to stop doing that. I need to set lost equal to false. So let's get out of that. Did that even quit the game? Okay. Let's go, where was this? Here, and say lost is equal to false because we're resetting. That would be better. But I got to check my bomb positions here. something's wrong with what I'm doing with the bombs and the numbers. So for mine in mine positions, neighbors equals get neighbors mine row call for C field RC plus equals 1. I can only do this if it's not a bomb. That's probably the issue, is that I'm overriding bombs that currently exist. So if field RC does not equal -1, then we can do that. I think that will fix it, but I think I was overriding bombs by adding 1 to them, and that's probably why I was losing them. So let's see if we have neighbors, loop through all the neighbors. If the neighbor is not a bomb, then it's fine to increment 1. We'll do that. Yeah, okay, I think that's good. Let's try this now. That's probably going to fix a whole whack of problems for me. Okay, so there must be a bomb there, right? Yeah, okay, good. So now that looks like that's working. Okay, you lost. Try again. All right, now let's add a flag. I guess we're going to cover the bombs with flags. So let's actually try to do this. So 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. So there must be one here. So we can cover that. 2, so it's either here. So there's one there. So it's either here or here. So we can't do anything there. That's 1. So that must be a bomb. So that means, oh, because there's 2 there. Okay, apparently I'm not very good at this game. You guys get the point. Now, there's also a thing where when you click on the number, it's supposed to expand outwards. I think that's going to be an addition because I'm probably almost at an hour here. But let's try to see if we can implement a way to win first. And that's probably going to be easier if I set this down a bit and make this like 10 by 10. So let's try this. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be much easier. Okay, so 2, 1, 1. So there must be a bomb here. And then there's, I guess, 1 here and 1 here. Would that make sense? 1. If this says 1, oh, it's because it's on the diagonal, so that could be it too. Okay, so I don't actually know which ones all of these would be, although I'm sure there's a way to figure that out, right? Okay, so 1, 1, 1, 1. So there must be a bomb here. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. Surely one of these isn't a bomb, right? That would be 1. There you go, and then that will. Okay, good, nice. Let's continue here. So 1, 1, 1. So this would be a bomb. Up here, there's only 1. That's good. Okay, 1, that's fine. So 3, if it's 3, there's only 3 squares, so that's a bomb. That's a bomb, that's a bomb. 3, that must be a bomb too. That's 3, this is 1, that's 2, that must be a bomb. This is a lot harder than it looks. I never really played this game. I'm gonna spend so much time just trying to complete it. Let's just go crazy and click a few random ones and see if we get it. Okay, and we lost. I think, honestly, I'm pretty happy with this so far. We need a way just to reset when we win. So if I implement that, then I think like the core functionality of the game is pretty much finished, and we would just need to add some small touches, tell you how many flags you have left, stuff like that. Yeah, and we need a timer too to keep track of how much time. So let's quickly, I think I have enough time to do a timer. So let's say timer or start underscore time is equal to time.time. And that's going to be as soon as you click. So we'll say start time is equal to 0 for now. And then as soon as we do our first click, so if clicks equals 0 or field row, I hate the way that I've done this here. If clicks equals 0 or field row. Okay, you know what? Just for time's sake here, it's not going to be clean, but that's fine. Start time equals time.time. Okay, we'll say current time is equal to time.time minus the start time. And then when we draw, we'll pass that as well. So we'll pass current time and current time. Let's go to draw, and let's take in current underscore time. Let's get a time font going quickly. Okay, time underscore font. I guess we'll do this as like 50 or something. And then we're going to go to draw. Okay, and up here, I guess we can just draw it down below. We will say time text is equal to, and this will be the time font dot render, and this will be an f string of time elapsed, colon, round current time. Okay, and that is good. And then we'll say win.blit, and this will be time text. And then we will put this, we could just hard code a position for now, something like it's going to be the height of the screen minus the time, the height of the screen minus the width of the screen, because that's what's going to be the bottom, over 2. And then we're going to subtract from that the time text.get underscore height over 2. For the X position, though, this we can just put at like 10 or something. Okay, let's try that. And let's see if I messed that up. Okay, time is not defined. Time text. You need to import time. Okay, I think I'm just about getting to my time limit too. I didn't start this exactly at an hour, so it's a little bit messed up. Time font.render. Let's just fix that quickly. Okay, we can just go 1 and black. I would like some variables for these, but that's fine. Run one more time. At least 3 arguments. What am I messing this up with? Oh, I passed that here. Okay, come on. Let's get a good run in here while we end. Where's the time? It's not showing up. Come on. Win.blit time text, the height minus the width over 2. Minus maybe plus is what we're looking for there. No. Okay, let's just hard code this. So 10, and then this can just go to like 650. What did we make the height? 700. So let's just do 700 and actually no, come on, this will work. Height minus the time text dot get underscore height over 2. All right, run. Time elapsed. Okay, let's move that over. Height. Need to know. Minus just this. Okay, there we go. That's fine. And that's giving me a massive number. Why is that giving me such a big number? Okay, come on. Let's figure this out quickly. We have current time. It's the other. Yeah, time to time minus start time. Oh, it's because I haven't clicked yet. Okay, that makes sense. Damn, we should only be doing that if we have a start time. If start time is greater than 0, else current time is equal to 0. Okay, let's run. And there we go. Let's click. Okay, damn it, I need to fix that. Okay, come on, run one more time. There we go. Oh, and it's showing bombs. Okay, guys, well, I've clearly messed something up. Yeah, I'll have to look at this in another video, but that was my coding challenge. I would say this is probably a fail in terms of completing the game, but I was able to whip up, what is it here? Almost 220 lines of code. Not fully functioning. I was a little ambitious with how much I'd be able to get done, but we could continue this in another coding challenge in the future if you guys would like to see that. I wouldn't mind doing another video and kind of wrapping up this project. Please let me know in the comments down below. Also down to ditch it and work on something else if you guys would find that more interesting. Hopefully this was insightful. Hopefully this was a cool video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in another one.